we can finance the new project that we would wish to undertake. So there are some few details we shall be looking at before now we settle down on that element of the right issue. So let us introduce by writing some few notes in relation to the right issue. We can introduce by writing some few notes in relation to the right issue. In relation to the right issue. So we can summarize that it is a method. It is a method of raising equity capital. It is a method of raising equity capital. A method of raising equity capital to finance a new project. To finance a new project. To finance a new project. Then we continue by writing that under this method, the company will sell additional ordinary shares. Under this method, the company will sell additional ordinary shares to the existing shareholders. To the existing shareholders. To the existing shareholders. To the existing shareholders. Sorry. So to the existing shareholders in the proportion to their current shareholding, in the proportion to their current shareholding, in the proportion to their current shareholding, at a price slightly below, at a price slightly below the current market price per share, at a price slightly below the current market price per share, at a price slightly below the current market price per share. Therefore, the shares are issued at a discount. Therefore, the shares are issued at a discount. Therefore, the shares are issued at a discount. Then another paragraph, we summarize that the price at which the shares are issued, the price at which the shares are issued is known as, the price at which the shares are issued is known as the subscription price, is known as the subscription price, or the offer price, or the offer price, or the offer price, or the issuing price, or the issuing price, or the issuing price. So that's now what we mean by the rights issue. We simply give additional ordinary shares to the existing shareholders in order to raise the new capital to finance the new project. So let us also write something brief about CAM rights. CAM rights, market price. We can also write something brief about the CAM rights market price. CAM rights market price. So for the CAM rights market price, we write that it is the price per share. It is the price per share. It is the price per share after the announcement of the right issue. It is the price per share after the announcement of the right issue. after the announcement of the right issue, but before the right issue takes place. But before the right issue takes place. But before the right issue takes place. It is computed as follows. It is computed as follows. It is computed as follows. So when you want to compute the rights market price per share, to get the rights market price per share, it will be equal to market price per share. Market price per share. Market price per share. Before announcement of the rights issue. Before the announcement of the rights issue, then we add net present value. Net present. We add the net present value. We add net present value per share. So when you want to compute rights market price per share, you simply take market price per share before announcement of the rights issue. Then we add net present value per share. Then we add the net present value per share. So to compute rights market price per share, it is simply market price per share before announcement of the right issue. Then we add the net present value per share. Then to get the net present value per share, net present value per share, it will be given by present value of the cash inflows. Present value of cash inflows. You subtract present value of the cash outflows. The present value of the cash outflows. So to get the net present value, it is simply present value of the cash inflows. Then you subtract present value of the cash outflows. So this one will be the same as NPV. The net present value is the same as NPV. Then this one should be written as present value for the cash inflows. Then the other one we should also be writing as present value for the cash outflow. So we write it, I'm simply repeating these words, but with the initials to make it shorter. So net present value is the same as NPV. Present value of the cash inflows is the same as that. Then present value of the cash outflow is the same as that particular portion. So we can be able to present it in that order. So, is the board visible to everyone? Are you able to see what I've written on the board? Those who are online. Yeah. So, Let us get now a question in your past papers to see how to compute the CAMRIGHT market price per share. How to compute the CAMRIGHT market price per share. So the question will be December 2013, question 1, part B. December 2013, question number 1, part B. December 2013, question 1, part B. So are you able to see December 2013, question 1, part B? We can check December 2013, question number 1, part B. December 2013, question number 1, part B. So are we able to see question 1, part B? So that question reads that Rich Limited intend to raise shillings 50 million to finance a new project. They intend to raise shillings 50 million to finance a new project through a rights issue. The project has a 10-year economic life. The project has a 10-year economic life with a zero scrap value. The project is expected to generate annual cash inflows of shillings 14 million. The company has 10 million issued and fully paid up ordinary shares. The market price of the company's ordinary shares before the announcement of the right issue was 35 shillings per share. So the company cost of capital is given as 14%. So required CAMRIGHT price of the shares. They want you to get the CAMRIGHT price of the shares. So CAMRIGHT price is given by market price before the announcement of the right issue. That one has been given. You can see the 35 shillings. So we need now to get the net present value. So to get the net present value, we are saying it is given by present value for the cash inflows. We minus the present value for the cash outflows. Then we compute the CAMRIGHT market price per share. So the starting point on that question is to compute the NPV, is to compute the net present value. So to get the net present value, you start by calculating present value of the cash inflows. We start by calculating the present value of the cash inflows. So it is supposed to be given by annuity. Cash flows were the same every year. So we refer to it as the annuity, multiplied by present value interest factor for the annuity. You can see in the question, the company's cost of capital is given as 14%. It is 14%. So that project is supposed to be there for how many years? So they were saying it is 10 years. So 10 years. So the annuity is what they have given you. So the project is expected to generate annual cash inflows of how much? 14 million. So the annuity is the 14 million. The annuity is now the 14 million. So confirm in the annuity table. Annuity table is the second table. What is 14% in year 10? What is 14% in year 10? What should it be 14% in year 10? You are seeing 5 point what?
21.
Sorry? 5 point? 216. And like that. Yeah, so multiply and see how much we get from there. multiply and see how much we are going to get from there. Multiply and see how much we are going to have at that time. So that one has given you each value. This 70 what? Give 7 some 70. Is 73. 23.0254. I suspect that's what I've been given. So you get 73 millions and 25,400. That's now our present value for the cash inflows. So we less present value of the cash outflow. Present value for the cash outflow is the initial cost. Present value of the cash outflow is the initial cost. So that project was supposed to cost how much? The amount they wanted to raise. Yeah, so the cost of the project is 50 million. So we less that cost, which is 15 million. So that we get now the net present value. So that we get the net present value. So that we come up with the net present value. So our net present value should be 20 what? 23.025 millions. But we should come up with the NPV per share. We need to, that is the total NPV, but we require NPV per share. NPV per share. So to get the NPV per share, you take that NPV of 23.0254 million, divide by the number of the ordinary shares. Now we are going to see the number of the ordinary shares. They have said that the company has how many million issued and fully paid up ordinary shares? There are 10 million ordinary shares. So divide by 10 million ordinary shares. So we divide by 10 million ordinary shares to get the NPV per share. Get your NPV per share. So you can just round it off. It should be 2.3. You can just have it as 2.3. Because you wanted it into 2 decimal. So you can just have it as 2.3 per share. You can have it as 2.3 per share. So now from there, you get your come right market price per share. Come right market price. Market price per share. Market price per share. So come right market price per share. We said the formula is that it is market price per share before announcement of the rights issue, whereby the question has given you how much? 35. Then you now add the NPV per share, which is 2.3. So that is now your come right market price per share. That now being our come right market price per share. That's now our come right market price per share. So it has given us 30 what? You are getting 37. So that is now the come right market price per share. So I would also like us to write something brief. Let us now write something brief about. You can also write something brief about So let us also write something brief about the theoretical X right price. We can also write something brief about theoretical X right price. We can also write something brief about the theoretical X right price. So remember, come right was the price before the right issue. But theoretical is now the price per share after the right issue has taken place. So that one, we write that it is the market price per share. It is the market price per share. It is the market price per share after the right issue has taken place. After the right issue has taken place. After the right issue has taken place. Then we continue by writing that after the right issue, there is increased, after the right issue, there is increased supply. After the right issue, there is increased supply of the company's shares. There is increased supply of the company shares, in the stock exchange. Increased supply of the company shares in the stock exchange. Therefore, the price per share, will decrease. Therefore, the price per share will decrease. Then another paragraph is that the theoretical X right price, will be expressed as follows. The theoretical X right price will be expressed as follows. The theoretical X right price will be expressed as follows. So to compute, so this one will be representing theoretical X right price. This will be representing the theoretical X right price. It will be equal to current market value of equity. Current market value of equity. Then we add new funds to be raised. New funds to be raised through rights issue. Then we divide by existing number of the ordinary shares. Existing number of the ordinary shares. Then you add number of the new shares. Number of new shares to be issued through the right issue. So when you want to calculate the theoretical X right price, it is simply current market value of equity. We add the new funds to be raised through the right issue, divided by existing number of the ordinary shares. We add number of the new shares to be issued through the right issue. Then, when you want to calculate current market value of equity, current market value of equity, current market value for equity. You simply take existing number of the ordinary shares, existing number ordinary shares, existing number of the ordinary shares multiplied by current market price per share, market price per share. So when you want to calculate current market value of equity, simply take existing number of the ordinary shares multiplied by the current market price per share. Then also calculate the new funds to be raised. New funds to be raised. To get the new funds to be raised, you simply take number of the new shares to be issued. Number of new shares to be issued. Number of the new shares to be issued, you multiplied by the offer price. Multiplied by the offer price. So when you want to calculate new funds to be raised, simply take number of new shares to be issued multiplied by the offer price. So that's how you get this item, also how to get that particular item. But we shall see more information on how to get the same. So that's now in relation to that. So I also like to write something. I would also like you to write something about number of the rights. You can also write something brief about number of the rights. You can also write something small about number of the rights. Number of the rights. Number of the rights. So for the number of the rights, we write that it indicates the number of the shares. It indicates the number of the shares to be issued. It indicates the number of the shares to be issued. Number of the shares to be issued in order to number of the shares to be issued in order to acquire one new share. It indicates the number of the shares to be issued in order to acquire one new share. In order to acquire one new share. It is calculated as follows. 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 So if you want to get the number of the rights, if you want to compute number of the rights, it is simply given by existing number existing number of ordinary shares. Then we divide by the number of the new shares to be issued. Number of shares. So when you want to calculate number of the rights, it is simply given by existing number of the ordinary shares. We divide by number of the new shares to be issued. number of the new shares to be issued. Then another paragraph, we can write that the number of the rights normally have a value. The number of the rights normally have a value. They normally have a value. And the value of the right will be expressed as follows. And the value of the right will be expressed as follows. And the value of the right will be expressed as follows. So now to get the value of the right, the value of the right will be equal to market price per share. Then you subtract the theoretical X right price. So to get value of the right will be equal to market price per share. You subtract the theoretical X right price. We have already seen how to calculate the theoretical X right price. So that is now one of the formula which you'll be able to apply. Or alternatively, also to calculate value of the right. All of them will be giving you the same answer. All those formulas I will give you, so it will only be selected one. So it can also be given by market price per share. You subtract the offer price. You subtract the offer price, then divide by number of the rights. Number of the rights, then you add 1. So also to get value of the right, it will simply be market price per share with less the offer price. We divide by number of the rights, but we add 1. Then also another formula which will give you the same. Value of the right. Value of the right will also be equal to theoretical X right price. You minus the offer price. You minus the offer price. Then you will be dividing by the number of the rights. You divide by number of the rights. So any of the 3, depending on the information given, they will give you the same answer. Just the theoretical X right price minus the offer price. We divide by the number of the rights. We divide by the number of the rights. Then another paragraph, we can write that. A new paragraph, we summarize that. During the right issue, comma, the existing shareholder has 3 options. During the right issue, the existing shareholder has 3 options. The existing shareholder has 3 options. Number one will be exercise of the rights. Exercise of the rights. You exercise the rights. Number 1 will be exercise of the rights. So under the exercise of the rights, we write that it is where during the right issue, comma, the shareholder will buy the right issue shares. The shareholder will buy the right issue shares. The shareholder will buy the right issue shares and keep them. The shareholder will buy the right issue shares and keep them. Then number 2 will be sale of the rights. The second option will be sale of the rights. Sale of the rights. So under the sale of the rights, you write that it is where during the right issue, it is where during the right issue, it is where during the right issue, comma, the shareholder will acquire the right issue shares. The shareholder will acquire the right issue shares. The shareholder will acquire the right issue shares and sell them in the open market, and sell them in the open market, and sell them in the open market, i.e. at the stock exchange market, and sell them in the open market, i.e. at the stock exchange market, at the stock exchange market. Then the last one, number 3, will be ignore the right issue. Number 3 will be ignore the rights issue. Number 3 is ignore the rights issue. So under to ignore the right issue, we write that it is where the shareholder will not participate. It is where the shareholder will not participate in the right issue, will not participate in the right issue when it is taking place. The shareholder will not participate in the right issue when it is taking place. When it is taking place. So those are now the 3 options available to the shareholder during the right issue. Then our last paragraph, a new paragraph, we write that. A new paragraph, we summarize that. When evaluating the 3 options, the shareholder should consider A will be his percentage of ownership. His percentage of ownership before and after the rights issue. His percentage of ownership before and after the rights issue. His percentage of ownership before and after the rights issue. Then B will be his wealth status before and after rights issue. So his wealth status before and after the rights issue. So that's now a summary of all the notes you will require on that. So let us get some few questions from your past papers on the right issue. Let us get some few questions. So the first one, we check November 2019. Question number 4, part B. November 2019. Question number 4, part B. We checked November 2019. Question number 4, part B. November 2019. Question number 4, part B. November 2019. Question 4, part B. So mine's on page 34. Any go which page? What's on 34? Yeah, so that question 4, part B, it reads that Riverside Limited requires shillings 4.5 million to finance an upcoming project. They require 4.5 million to finance an upcoming project. The firm's existing share capital constitutes 120,000 ordinary shares, whose current market price per share is 100 shillings. The management of the company has proposed to raise funds through a rights offering at a discount rate of 25% on the current share price. So required, Roman letter 1, number of the ordinary shares to be issued to raise the required capital. Roman letter 2, number of the rights required to subscribe for 1 new ordinary share. Roman letter 3, the theoretical ex-right price. Theoretical ex-right price per ordinary share. You'll also add there Roman letter 4 as value of the rights. We can also add there Roman letter 4 as the value of the rights. So what is lacking in the question is the offer price. We shall start off by calculating the offer price. We shall start off by calculating the offer price or subscription price. So the offer price, to get the offer price, they have said that the share was issued at a discount. You see the discount is what percent? 25%. A discount is a reduction in the price. So we reduce it by 25%. That means you get 75% of the current market price. If they say that it was issued at a premium, you increase it by the premium. But this one has been issued at a discount of 25%. So get 75%. 75% of the current market price. Are you able to see the current market price? I'm going to pay which price? That the 120,000 ordinary, whose current market price per share is 100. So we get 75% of 100 shares. We get 75% of 100 shares. So that put us 75. Then I had given, we are now answering the Roman letter 1. I had given you a formula that new funds to be raised. New funds to be raised. Remember, it is equal to number of the new shares to be issued. Number of the new shares to be issued. Then you multiply by the offer price. You multiply by the offer price. So we want to take number of the new shares to be issued to be the subject. We make the number of the new shares to be issued to be the subject. So number of the new shares to be issued. Number of the new shares to be issued will be equal to new funds to be raised. New funds to be we divide by the offer price. We divide by the offer price. So when you make, because Roman letter 1, they were asking you to calculate. They wanted you to get the number of the ordinary shares to be issued to raise the required capital. So our new funds to be raised is given. Are you able to see in the first paragraph? They require how much? 4.5 million. They require 4.5 million. Then divide by their offer price, which we have just calculated as 75. Divide by the offer price, which we have calculated as 75. So that now should be able to give you the number of the new shares to be issued to raise the required capital. The number of the new shares to be issued to raise. So we need to issue how many ordinary shares? That is now our Roman letter 1. That is now our Roman letter 1. So we got the Roman letter 2. Roman letter 2 is number of the rights required. Roman letter 2 is the number of the rights required to raise the new capital. So we now go to the Roman letter 2. We got the Roman letter 2, where they would like you to get the number of the rights, where they would like you to compute the number of the rights. So from the formula I've given you, when you want to calculate the number of the rights, you simply take the existing number of the ordinary shares. You divide by the number of the new shares to be issued. So that's now the formula we have been able to see about how to get the number of the rights. So we can now check how to compute that value. We can now check how to compute. So number of the rights, number of the rights is supposed to be given by existing number of the ordinary shares. Number of the ordinary shares. We are supposed to divide by the number of the new shares to be issued. We divide by the number of the new shares to be issued. So, existing number of the ordinary shares have been given. Are you able to see the existing number of the ordinary shares? They have given us how many? They gave you 120,000. Then the number of the new shares to be issued, you calculated in the Roman letter 1. There were how many shares? There were 60,000. So when you divide, we now get the number of the rights. We now get the number of the rights. So when you divide, you now get the number of the rights. So how many rights are there? The number of the rights are 2. So now we go to the Roman letter 3. We should now go to the Roman letter 3. So Roman letter 3, they were asking that they wanted to get the theoretical X right market price per ordinary share. The theoretical X right price per share. So to calculate the theoretical X right price, to compute the theoretical X right price. I was using this one to represent the theoretical X right price. It is supposed to be given by current market value of equity. Current market value of equity. Then we add the new funds to be raised. New funds to be raised. Then remember, we divide by existing number of the ordinary shares. Then we add new shares to be issued. We add new shares to be issued. We add new shares to be issued. So, current market value of equity, you simply take existing number of the ordinary shares multiplied by the current market price. How many shares are currently existing? You remember 120,000? Then you remember the current market price of 100. So this is existing number of the ordinary shares multiplied by the current market price per share. Then new funds to be raised was given the 4.5 millions. The new funds to be raised was given, it was 4.5 millions. Then you also divide by 120,000, then add 60,000. New shares which you have calculated it is 60. So that should be able to give you the theoretical X right price. It should be able to give you the theoretical X right price. It should be able to give you the theoretical X right price. So it is giving us like which value? It's what? 91.67. There is an option of getting the same. There is an option of getting the same value. So the option of getting the same value, we use the number of the rights. An option of getting the same value, we shall be using number of the rights. So we calculated how many rights were there in the Roman letter 2. You remember the 2 shares. So this is an option of getting the same. So the number of the rights were 2 shares. So these 2 shares, you value them at the current market price. The 2 shares, we shall value them at the current market price. Remember, it was 100. It was 100. So when I take 2 shares multiplied by 100, it will give me 200. Then we had said that the number of the rights give you an option to acquire 1 new share. So when you have 2 shares, you will get 1 new share under the right issue. So these 2 shares will guarantee you to get 1 new share. So the 1 new share, you will be acquiring it at the offer price. The 1 new share, you will acquire it at the offer price, which we calculated and it gave us how much? 75. So when you take 1 share multiplied by 75, we give us what? 75. So we now get the totals. This 2 plus 1 will be 3 shares. then this will be 200 and what? Remember, I'm using the rights. The rights, you value them at the current market price. The number of the rights gives you an opportunity to acquire one new share. I hope that is clear. The number of the rights gives you an opportunity to acquire one new share. So from there, now to compute your theoretical X right price, simply take 275 divided by 3. Simply get 275 divided by 3. The number of the rights that you calculated, you value them at the current market price, which is giving us 200. Then the number of the rights gives you an opportunity to acquire one new share, which is now this one. This one new share we acquire, value it at the offer price, which is giving us 75. So now that will be able to give you the theoretical X right price. I hope it is the same here. We are getting the same value. So in case you have the number of the rights, you have the current market price per share, you also have the offer price. Apply this part. It will give you the same value. Give you the same value for the theoretical X right price. It will give you the same value at the theoretical X right price. So finally, we added something on that question. We said that we were to calculate which item? So I also gave you different formulas on how to get the value of the rights. So I want us to confirm the 3 of them. Because we are learning, I just want us to confirm whether they will give you the same. So the first one is supposed to be, value of the rights. It was market price per share minus the theoretical X right price. So market price per share is 100. Theoretical X right price, we have just calculated, we have said it is 90 what? 91.67. Alternatively, you can use the second formula. Any of them, you only pick one. Any of them will give you the same. It will be market price per share minus the offer price divided by number of the rights. Number of the rights. So you know the market price per share is 100. Offer price was 75. Number of the rights are 2 shares. Then you add 1. We just confirm whether it is giving me the same. We shall only require one formula for that. We shall only require one formula for that question. Then the third one also value the right. It will be theoretical X right price minus the offer price. Then you divide by number of the rights. Number of the rights. So that will be the same as 91.67. It's not that the offer price, which is also divided by 2. Remember, you just pick only one. It will give you the same. It will give you the same. It will give you the same. So we are meant to check now the question for August 2022. August 2022, question number 2, part C. August 2022, question number 2, part C. But we shall take a short break. We can now take a short break before we come back to that question. August 2022, question number 2, part C. So you can take a short break before we proceed.